Wake Up with Jim and Saab is exclusively on Spotify.
If you want to start your own podcast, check out anchor.fm. And if you like the podcast, make sure to follow on Spotify.
Also, share your stories
And tag.
and tag us on at Wake Up with Jim and Saab on Instagram and at ano ba?
Di ko alam.
Anyway, ito na yung show.
Can I ask you to stay? But say I'm the only one.
Welcome to the
Wake Up with Jim and Saab podcast.
Welcome to the Wake Up Jim and Saab
Welcome to the
podcast.
podcast. We're Jim and Saab, and this is the podcast where we push you to be better. Today, we're going to be talking about chasing your dreams.
Let's go!
Saab and I are actually failed dream chasers.
Failed dream chasers.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm proud of that because the mere parang I think all what we're gonna share with you today is how we failed to reach our dreams, but somehow got to it.
Yeah.
Um,
So that doesn't mean we're failed dream chasers.
well, that's how the story. Ganun yung story.
Yes. Tama ka, Jim. That before the dream can be chased, you have to be a failed dream chaser.
Labo.
Sama.
Alam mo yung maganda? Si John, I think John Mayer said this. You are just a result of your failure to imitate.
Mm,
And I really like that because I think I've always embraced that and I can relate that to us, and we both had such specific dreams,
Yeah.
diba? So and I kept trying to find my way towards that, and somehow napupunta ako sa ibang bagay. Okay? So my first my dream was when I was a kid, I really wanted to be a filmmaker. Like I really wanted to make movies, as in I was any store or any house that I'd go to, titingnan ko una yung mga VHS nila. Titingnan ko ano yung collection, and I look at all the titles. Kaya, di ba yung, you know that, how do I know this actor?
Yeah.
Kasi I was so into that. So, but, aside from the filmmaking, I was also, do you know this, that I had this rodeo show? I was like 6 or 7.
No.
It was called the Jimbo One Man Show.
What?
We would go to different, like, any party. So, Ate Mia would introduce me. She'd have a spiel. And I'd come out. And I'd reenact scenes from movies.
Oh my God.
Changing costumes pa. So, I would do Forrest Gump. I'd do True Lies.
So cute. That is such an Andy thing. Andy from Parks and Rec.
and looking back, I guess I always wanted to perform. Like
Yeah.
I always wanted to be quote unquote on stage. So, so aside from, being a filmmaker, I guess it was really more about being a performer. And I really dreamt that one day I'd be, either I'd be a Spielberg, or I'd be a Tom Cruise, or I'd be a musician. Like, so, kaya ayoko i-categorize na my dream was I wanted to be a musician. Okay? Because I think performer captures it. So, and I failed multiple times. Diba? So, kunwari, and that dream was broken multiple times. So I did that one-man show. And unfortunately, we grew up in a culture and a family and an environment that frowned upon performance. Really. Like, you'd be bullied if you parang, si Jimbo kakanta na naman. Ganon. Si Jimbo sasayaw na naman.
Aw.
Si Jimbo mag-acting na naman. Corny.
What?
Baduy. Kaya nga, nalala mo, don't you realize na whenever you say like, do this. Kaya nasishock ako sa family ni Saab. Na, kung someone says, Elmo, sing this. He'll sing.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, it's normal.
Yeah.
Like, so whenever Sab does that with her family, and then nandun ako, she says, Jim, kwento mo to. Parang perform, quote unquote. I'm like, huh?
Mm.
All the terrors of baduy mo, corny, corny, yung ganon. So that in itself broke my dream. I
Aw.
stopped. I was like, any opportunity to perform in that setting
Mm.
was like squashed. Like I don't want to do it anymore because it's baduy
So from
apparently.
that, how did you go into, your high school band and then actually performing again in front of an audience?
It was it was because I just really loved I constantly found what I loved
Mm.
talaga. So when I found that, oh shucks, I can write songs pala in high school.
Mhm.
Like I wasn't as good as and I always give Ali shit for this. Na everyone in our class, bilib na bilib sa lahat.
Ah.
Okay? Like, grabe, ang galing talaga ni ganito. As in,
Ah.
parang kaya niya mag-stairway to heaven.
Ah.
Ganon. And I'd always be insecure. So ako, if I do play guitar, I do it at home.
Uh-huh.
And then
Wait, sorry. You give Ali shit. Why? Because isa siya sa mga yun.
isa siya sa mga, ang galing talaga ni ganito.
Okay, go.
And Manny. So they would be like, grabe, bigay niyo yung gitara kay Blank. Galing. So again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just me and my
Baka naman magaling talaga sila.
Yeah. It's just me and my insecurity
Yeah.
and like being loserly.
Loser.
But when I was at home, I started writing songs and I said, wow, these songs are pretty good. And then I don't know how this happened. Seriously. Like I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed the process. I loved performing. I wanted to do it na in front of other people. I wanted to see, and it rekindled that fire. Na, oh, shucks. Like,
Yeah.
hindi pala baduy.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure most of us, we thrive on the affirmation of others, sadly. And I think I needed to find what I love doing on my own and then trying it out in front of other people. Then, yun nga there was a time that these songs that I wrote were being sung by my class.
Yeah.
Ganon. And
No, I remember in college, some batchmates were giving me burned CDs of your songs.
yeah. So, ganun na yung trip ko. And I found my way and, and then from there, I got into my band, Earnville. So again, it was a new dream. Diba? Parang, okay, I'm now gonna be a professional musician. Diba? I think I'm good at this.
Because
And
in
then-
the previous band, songwriter ka, but you weren't the vocalist.
Yeah, so vocalist ako. And then I remember after one gig, our drummer, for some reason, tells me, uy, sabi pala ng friend ko, ang galing daw natin, pero daw, sayang daw kasi yung vocals hindi maganda.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Says it so casually. So dream broken. Na okay, you can't sing, you can't lead a band.
Oh.
And then
What did you say to that?
I think minura ko yung tao. I mean, so I said, okay, dream broken. And then on a whim, we applied to this Battle of the Bands thing. We got in,
Yeah.
and then people started telling me na, uy, ang galing mo mag-perform.
Oh.
Like, ang saya nyo panoorin live.
Oh, yeah.
Parang
That's
ganon.
true.
So ako, what? I thought like, honestly, again, I went back to what I did on my own. When I remember again, ang daldal ko. Pero
No, go ahead. I'm
I remember
enjoying this.
I had a really bad stomachache. And I said, I love jamming so much. I had this new band. I was a singer. I had amoebiasis.
Yeah.
I was sick.
Yeah.
Okay? But tinuloy ko yung jamming. And while we were jamming, I kept going to the bathroom, back to the jam, Gatorade, bathroom, jam, until na-confine ako.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I loved it that much. And then napunta yung sound school, na-affirm na, what? Nagwawala-wala kami nila Manny inside a room. It was my old house. No one saw us, pero I had the time of my life. I still remember the songs we played. I still remember the feeling of joy
I
of
watched you during the final battle.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get there. So wala pang Battle of the Bands nun, ah. We were just figuring out this new band, and we
Yeah.
were just playing for ourselves, and we
Yeah.
loved it so much. And I was such on a high, and then joined this affirmed. Okay, cool. You're a musician. Magaling ka pala. Then nasa Boracay kami, linipitan ako ni Raymond Marasigan. And then he said, ang galing nyo. And then I was like, what? So meron nga. So continue dream. And we did, in the finals, we played in Ultra, Saab watched. We weren't dating. We lost, dream broken. Then college happened, and
No, that was in college.
sorry, that was college. And then work happened. The pressure to find a job or continue this music thing. I asked my dad, can you give me 1 year of I'll try to land a record deal or some way of earning a living through this. So because the dream was still alive. Failed. And then, okay, band is over. Found cheats. Dream is back.
Yeah.
And then I can apply the same thing to even in business. Na all I wanted as soon as I got day one of getting an office job was I want to run my own business. I want to say something and I want to create something, and it happens. I knew it in my heart, and that's what was meant for me. And nakailang ganun ako, 'di ba? And you know that,
Yeah.
'di ba? Na ilang beses na I had a dream, and it failed. I failed. And then kaya I just kept going back to what I loved. I kept going back to what I loved, doing it on my own in silence and like that, silent room of being with yourself and that passion. If you love it so much, then pursue it.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why you were motivated to really work on your own business, is because it was really hard to shuffle the whole corporate thing and then having a band life, diba?
And I know every time that I have a new job, I'd say, and then biglang, oh, by the way, Cheats is chosen to be the first band to play in Laneway. I'm like, bumalik na naman yung dream. Ano ba yan? Stop it. Okay na ako. I became Mr. Anderson na. I'm done trying to be Neo. I was happy. I found happiness. Pero ultimately, I knew that in my heart na, that the dream was still there. And because of all those things, I am now running my own business, which I absolutely love, which I feel is making a dent in culture.
That's true.
We have a band that loves each other, that loves our music, has a major record label deal. We have Putty Rock, and I'm sure all those things would not have happened if my quote-unquote dream was fulfilled. Like, imagine if I won that Battle of the Bands thing and we were stuck with a record label and I was stuck with that band. There would be no cheats or whatever. So, yeah. So before Sab shares her dream, we'd like to take a break. Hey, Sabi, the Sing 2 trailer is out. Your favorite characters, Rosita, Johnny, Mina, Clay, and Buster Moon, are back to chase their dreams in this upcoming sequel. You can also get these characters for your little ones to play with McDonald's Philippines' new Happy Meal toys. Oh, I love Happy Meals. Sing your heart out and chase your dreams with McDonald's new toy lineup featuring Sing 2's show-stopping animals who continuously remind us that if you can dream it, you can do it. Get your hands on the Sing 2 Happy Meal now. Available via McDonald's Dine-In, Takeout, Drive-Thru, or McDelivery. Enough about
Sorry.
enough about me.
Let's talk about me now.
Let's talk about you.
Well, I wanted to share my story of wanting to be a writer, a journalist. Parang I had that in my head na, I loved reading, especially when I was younger. I would just read a lot of stuff and then parang may mga hints nga ako of, uh, being offered different opportunities to hone that skill. I became the editor-in-chief and founder of our school paper when I was in high school. And then I was published when I was in first year college yata. I remember my first published piece on the Philippine Star. It was a book review of
Sex in the City?
Yeah, how do you know that?
You told me before.
Yeah, it not parang the prequel at to the Sex and the City book. Yeah, so that was my first published thing. I don't know. I don't have a copy of it, but I was very proud
Can
of
you
that. Thank you so
explain-
much, Erwin Romulo, for giving me that opportunity.
Can you explain to the pod kids who never, like, why was that a big deal?
Siguro
Nung time na yun, why was getting published?
up to now naman, I think it's still a big deal.
No, I mean, I guess
but for a young girl who just wala, parang I was just writing on my blog.
Kasi syempre, during that time, hindi pa naman super sikat yung mga blog. Di ba?
Mhm.
So, what I'm saying is, hindi ba nung time na yun mas, kuwari, get a feature on Rappler. You couldn't easily do that.
Mhm.
Di ba? It was Philippine Star,
Yeah.
Inquirer.
Mhm.
Ganun ba yung mindset mo nun?
I think up to now it's the same thing. Even if you get published now, it's the same. It's still very. It's a big deal. But
I'm
for
not
me,
talking
no,
about it in general.
No.
I'm saying for kids who don't understand, who never heard,
who don't know what a newspaper is.
Oh, kumari, yun. Exactly. That's yun
Well, a
yung point ko.
newspaper is this thing that you read when you're having your morning coffee. But hindi, parang to actually hold it in your hands. For me, I think it was a big deal because it was my first time. So, yun, parang just to hold it. It's the newspaper. This is something that my parents read, you know? So, it was a big deal. Tapos, pero for me, it's like, okay, but wala, parang imposter syndrome. I didn't really think that it was a real thing, na I would keep doing it. So yeah, I just continued my blog and then got distracted by other work stuff. And when I say work stuff, it was like acting and the stuff that would earn money.
Sino yung peg mo? Like, who did you want to be?
I wanted to be like Jessica Zafra. So, yun, parang it was really hard kasi when you're blogging and then you're just kind of writing in your diary and not really I'm so hard on myself na I don't write a draft and then, keep it and then go back to it and then rewrite it and then, wait for it to be ready and then publish it. What I do, honestly, to this day is just write and then it's called the ugly first draft. It's going to be an ugly first draft. And my thing is, I publish it, even if it's not really perfect. So yun, parang I'm not always 100% proud of what I write. And parang it's been a struggle of mine na parang hindi ako naging journalist.
What were the things that what were the things that stopped you from being that your Jessica Zafra dream? What were the moments? What told you to
I think it's
not
just
pursue it 1 billion%?
di ko alam. I think it's lack of self-esteem. Parang I didn't think I was good enough. Parang, no, you're not gonna be like that. She's so cool and you're just not.
Oh, pero was it ever because of someone else? Did someone
Mm,
else make you feel that way?
probably like if I have to look back at like, you know, some traumatic stuff in the past na someone maybe probably said something. But for me, I think what matters is what has happened since then. Na I may not have been, a journalist eh, na because I wanted to be like a creative writer like Jessica Zafra, but I also wanted to be a journalist, like newspaper, interviewing people and getting to sharing their stories and stuff.
Mm.
And in a way, that's happened for me now. I'm not a
Mm.
writer per se. I'm not a journalist, but I am a storyteller.
Mm.
So I tell the stories of my children with the way that I share my family's life on my social media accounts, my Instagram, my vlog. And then I also get to still share stories of other people through our podcast and our
Mm.
guests. And
Oh, ano?
somehow I still I still do want to overcome that whole um organized thing because I still feel like it's always the ugly first draft that I put out there. But I think as a creative, that's always how it's going to be. You're
Mm.
never going to be content with the work that you put out, 'di ba? Parang
Yeah,
laging
like
naman ganun eh.
all our recordings.
Parang laging hindi pa tapos to, hindi pa final to, hindi pa,
Mm.
hindi pa, hindi pa. And I think that's what I realized is if I were to, it's good that I just put out the ugly first draft. To me, it's an ugly first draft. But to someone, it could be life-changing. Alam mo yun? It's not perfect. It's not 100%, quality work in my opinion, on my standards. But for me, putting it out there, it may be B minus work, maybe C plus work, but it's made a difference.
What do you think? Ano? So you wanted to be a journalist and then you ended up, pretty much doing the things that you wanted to do,
Mhm.
diba? Telling stories, writing, you still
Mhm.
write, you still create content.
Mhm.
Uh what do you think made you get to this point?
I think persistence.
How?
Parang I always struggled with, and I wrote about this on my Instagram account the other day. But the thing is, I was always so hard on myself about parang, ay na ba yan? You're so inconsistent talaga. And you're always changing your mind. You're always, no, blah, blah, blah. And then I figured out na parang, gosh, like, stop trying to be such a perfectionist all the time na, you missed a day of writing. Kasi, di ba, parang the thing is, it's a muscle that you have to exercise. And sa akin, I give myself a hard time because don't give, I don't make time for writing as much as I would like to,
Mm.
especially now that I'm a mom. But in a way, everybody writes. I write. When I write a caption, I write. When I write whatever, an email, that's writing, I think.
Mm.
Diba? So I think there's still some practice, but in every day. And that's the thing that has changed for me is I don't have to be consistent in the morning while I'm drinking my coffee. I'm going to set out 15 minutes to 30 minutes
While you're on
writing.
warrior pose.
Oh, well, writing on my laptop, parang a full page. Parang may mga ganun, di ba? And some people can do that, but for me, that's not me. I like to free play and is that free play? It's a freestyle.
Free
and parang whatever works for me. And the persistence is what's more important. Na parang, okay, well, today I wasn't able to do that writing practice thing na in my head was this perfect situation of me in an office and, nice, beautiful sun and writing in my head kasi may ganun akong, ganun akong image. But for me, even if I don't have that every day, the persistence to still write and put stuff out there, that's, I think, what makes me a true storyteller. Because if you keep trying to perfect it, and even if you write the most brilliant stories but don't put it out there, then you're not telling the story.
Yeah, I think yun yung persistence mo. Na parang it's just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Diba? So, as a stormbreaker,
Mhm.
I shall summarize our dream chasing stormbreakers.
Okay.
Okay? So, number one, you have to love, you have to really love what you say that you're, you kind of say, I dream about, my dream is to become a vocalist. Diba? If you only like singing to your boyfriend, or you only, parang kumbaga, if you only like singing because you can be on American Idol or whatever, maybe think about it. Na you have to love it on your own first, because that will allow you to move on to the next stormbreaker, which is persistence. Now, if you love something, it'll be natural to be persistent. It'll be natural to be resilient, because I'm not working hard, diba? I'm just playing guitar. I'm just taking photographs, diba? I'm just cooking.
And it doesn't have to be the perfect image that you have in your head of that dream. Like for you, siguro, Jim, when you wanted to be a filmmaker, it was, Spielberg, Hollywood, director's chair. But in some way, you became a performer na ibang-iba dun sa image na yon. And for me, diba, the writer dream of being in a cozy little office in a cabin with like nice natural sunlight, and that's it's not the situation right now. But I think I'm still living my dream.
Yeah, that's why. Well, that was the third stormbreaker, which is, yun nga, the dreams mutate, they change, and they evolve as you change. Kaya you always have to go back to your why. You have to know what you love. Do it in your own time. And if you're persistent enough, that dream will be realized. It may look different, but it will actually be the best thing for you, and for you in that moment in time. Diba? Parang of who you are as a person in that moment. That is what was meant for you. And to quote one of our songs, the Cheats, a dreamer sleeps when he's left alone. So you can dream all you want, but if you don't try, ano yung line ko? Dreams are,
Dreams, goals are
ano yun?
dreams
Goals without measurement.
are just
Dream?
goals not measured are just dreams. Tama ba?
Ay,
Okay naman.
hindi. Pangit.
Goals.
Google nyo na lang. Bye!
Bye.